it all out. Chop it off. I don't want to see me on the front. I don't want to see me on the screen.
I'm Marcia Farrington, and I was 9 years old when VE Day, that's Victory in Europe, happened.
Yeah, I'm John Farrington, and I was 10 years old when VE Day was declared.
I'm Sylvia Willington, and I was nearly 13 when the war finished.
My name is Paul. I was 8 on VE Day.
My name is Mavis. I was 9 when it was V-Day, and I remember the fact we lit a bonfire in the street, but we had to put it out because of the gas pipes underneath. But you don't think about when you want to celebrate, you celebrate.
Through the war, you had to go to school with your gas mask, and then you had times when you had to put the gas mask on, and that I didn't like because I couldn't breathe.
I remember the air raids, the awful sound of the sirens, and we didn't go to the local air raid shelter. My mum and dad took us and we sheltered below the stairs because apparently it had shown that if a house is bombed, usually the staircase remains intact. So they used to take us below the stairs.
Mum worked at a local factory. Dad, he was in the RAF in the war, but he went to Belgium, and I think to a certain extent where you're as young as I was when they were, you don't take things for granted because you don't really know what's going on, do you?
I just remember the sound of the bombs and the noise having to come downstairs, and just in case. We often had our windows cracked for the blast from the bombs, although we were not directly in line with the bombs, but we were there was a motorbike place not too far away, and I think if the bombers came over, missed the target, they'd drop their bombs quickly to get home, because we'd go into Birmingham, and on Trafford Road, house after house to house was bombed. Mess everywhere.
We'd got one friend, and that he was taken a prisoner of war at Japan, and he didn't come back until after VJ and that. But he did. When he came back, he wasn't very good.
My dad loved going to the cinema, as I say, and they changed the cinema programme twice a week. That's where you got the information of the war and everything that happened. Well, when there was awfulness going on, my father used to take his trilby off his lap and put it in front of my face. Well, I wasn't having that. I'd got to see what was going on. So he used to say, hold that there. And I used to be creeping from side to side to see what was going on. And I really wish I hadn't, because it was awful. And I can remember vividly when he came back one day when Coventry was hit. That was really the nearest that was really bombed because of all the stuff that was going on that they were building. And I shouldn't have overheard it, but I did hear him say to my mother, Molly, they got Coventry tonight.
I think life in the after years, everybody worked together. It was one. I suppose it's like when we rationing. My mother with the neighbours had got a barter system. If you had my sugar, I'll have your butter, But neighbours everybody was in the same boat, and everybody contributed what they can to the war effort.
That was always a big coup to changing ration books, and I grew up expecting that rest of the life we would have to have ration books. You couldn't as much. Butter that's real butter. No. Real butter, yes, it was not margarine, real butter. You go carefully, and while I knew it was rations, I knew it was scarce, and once it's gone, it was gone the rest of the month. And even the bananas, I'd seen them in pictures at school. I'd never had a banana. The first one I had was 1947 when I had my tonsils out and there's a hospital and they produced banana. That sounds funny, but you'd see these pictures, bananas. Never tasted one.
Another thing I remember is the Home Guard used to do exercises. And I remember going out one Sunday and there was a whole troop of them in our garden exercising. So that was quite a shock, to be quite honest.
They used to put pig bins on corners of streets. Well, there was a pig bin on the corner of our street, and it was all the waste from the kitchen and the peelings, and so we had to keep them, set them aside. I had to take it mainly because the boys were older. I was very glad when I could stop doing that because it wasn't a nice smell because everybody was doing the same. And then they'd come and tip it into lorries and put the bin back. I mean, you didn't have anybody wash your bins out in those days. So that was a thing.
What was that for, Marcia? Why were they collecting?
To feed the farm animals, the pigs.
The pigs.
The pigs. Because, that's all that they could get. Everybody was doing that. And that's what everybody was impressed about. You must do something for the war effort.